Somewhere in ancient India, a man raised his son in a forest. Zero internet, zero woman, zero fun. For 20 years, the boy became the most spiritually optimized human alive. Then one boat arrived, one, and the entire 20-year optimization just deleted itself. This is the story of Rishyashringa, Mythology's original monk mode influencer, and this is his crash log. First, let's talk about the man behind the madness, sage Vibhandaka. Picture this man as the founder of a startup, not a normal startup, a startup with one employee, his son. No investors, no board, no feedback, no market research, just pure, unfiltered offline product development in a forest. Vibhandaka had one mission in life: produce the most spiritually powerful human being the universe has ever seen. Zero distractions, zero UI, zero social features. The product was going to be perfect. His parenting philosophy was simple, and I'm directly quoting his internal policy document here. The outside world is a malware my son will not be exposed to. So he took baby Rishyashringa into the forest. Deep forest, not the forest where people go for morning walks, and the forest where even Google Maps give up and says, "You are on your own, bro." And so, Rishyashringa grew up. No school, his father was the school. No friends, his father was the friend. No girlfriend, his father was... Okay, let's not go there, right? The boy's entire universe was 1. The forest, 2. The Vedas, 3. His father, 4. Fire rituals, 5. More Vedas. That's it. That's the entire feature list of his life. No updates, no DLCs, no expansion packs. Now, here's the thing. This actually worked. Rishyashringa became insanely powerful. His tapas, his spiritual discipline, was so intense that the cosmos itself started paying attention. Rain would fall wherever he walked. Flowers bloomed when he sat down. The universe had basically given him a 5-star review. He was the highest rated human on the market. And he had absolutely zero idea what a market was. The boy had never seen a woman, not even once. His father had made sure of that. When Vibhandaka went to the village for supplies, which was rare, he would leave Rishyashringa at home with strict instructions. Do not open the door. Don't talk to anyone. Don't install any apps. Essentially, the boy was running on a completely clean operating system. No junk files, no cookies, no history. So now, cut to King Romapada, king of Anga. This man is having the worst quarter of his reign. His entire kingdom has stopped receiving rain, not one drop. Fields are dying, rivers are dying, people are angry. His approval rating has crashed. He basically, the founder whose product stopped working and whose investors are now sending very passive, aggressive emails. He consults his advisor. The Brahmins sit down, pull out their ancient charts, their cosmic analytics dashboard. And they say, "Maharaj, we have identified the root cause of your problem." Romapada leans forward. There is one person in this universe whose presence alone will bring the rain back. A young Brahmin sage living in the forest. His name is Rishyashringa. You must bring him here. Romapada exhales with relief. Perfect. Send my best soldiers. Bring him immediately. The Brahmin raises one hand. Maharaj, he never seen another human being. His father will destroy anyone who approaches. You cannot send soldiers, you cannot send priests, you cannot send messengers. Ramapada squints. Then who do I send? The Brahmin smiles very carefully. Courtesans, Maharaj. Silence. Ramapada blinks. Run that by me again. So, King Romapada, in what is genuinely the most unhinged government policy decision in ancient Indian history, officially greenlit Operation Get the Forest Boy. The mission, a team of courtesans will build a floating pleasure boat decorated with flowers, loaded with food, filled with music. They will sell it near the forest where Rishyashringa lives. They will smile at him, and that's the entire plan. That's it. That is the complete strategy document. 3,000 years of Vedic wisdom, and the conclusion is decorate a boat, send pretty people, smile. They spend more time planning the flower arrangements than actual operations. Now imagine being one of the courtesans getting this briefing. Okay team, here's today's assignment. There's a boy in the forest. He's never seen another human. He has insane spiritual powers. His father is a terrifying sage who will curse you on sight. You will go to the forest alone on a decorated boat. You will smile. You will offer him fruit, and then you will convince him to follow you back to the kingdom. Any questions? One courtesan raises her hand. Yes. What's our exit strategy if the father shows up? Run. So there he is, Rishyashringa, 20 years old, sitting by the river, doing his morning rituals, perfectly optimized, perfectly calibrated, system running at 100%. And then, through the trees, he sees something, a boat, decorated with flowers, and on that boat, a person, but not like his father, not a sage, not someone covered in ash and reciting mantras, someone who smelled of flowers, someone who laughed like what even was that sound, someone who offered him mangoes, not the mangoes from the tree, arranged mangoes on a plate. The boy's entire consciousness went system error, unknown input detected, and processing. He had never experienced color-coordinated clothing, perfume, music that wasn't Vedic chanting, or someone who smiled at him without simultaneously assigning him homework. His brain, which had been running perfectly for 20 years on a strict spiritual OS, encountered one real one, and the whole thing buffered. The courtesans offered him food. He had never tasted anything like it. They played music. He had never heard anything like it either. They laughed. He did not know what laughing was. And yet, somehow, somewhere in his ancient spiritual hard drive, something stirred. Something that 20 years of Vedic firewalls had not been able to fully suppress. The factory setting that his father had tried to delete. Curiosity. The courtesans, seeing their window, slowly, carefully began sailing the boat back towards the kingdom. Rishyashringa followed, on foot, through the forest in his dhoti, just walking after a boat like a golden retriever who has spotted someone with a treat bag. The most spiritually powerful man alive, following a decorated boat because someone smiled at him and gave him a mango. 20 years of monk mode uninstalled in 45 minutes. So the moment Rishyashringa's foot touched the soil of King Romapada's kingdom, it rained, not a drizzle, poured. The drought ended, just like that, because of a man who didn't even know what a drought was, who didn't know what a kingdom was, who had frankly not yet processed what a woman was. But apparently the universe had decided this man's wife were enough. Romapada was thrilled. He did what any grateful king would do. He immediately offered Rishyashringa his daughter's hand in marriage to the boy who had arrived in his kingdom, confused, enchanted, still holding a half-eaten mango. Rishyashringa said yes, because at this point his entire decision-making framework had already been compromised. He would have agreed to anything. Meanwhile, back in the forest, sage Vibhandaka came home. His son was not there. The hut was empty. He looked left, he looked right. He checked the river, he checked the trees. No Rishyashringa. Then, in the distance, he heard music. Shehnai. He followed the sound and arrived at King Romapada's kingdom just in time to see his son, the most optimized human being he had spent 20 years building, getting married in a flower crown, laughing next to a woman. Vibhandaka stood there for a long moment. Then he looked up at the sky. Then he looked back at his son. Then he looked at the decorated boat still tied to the dock. And somewhere in the ancient algorithm of a sage's heart, he understood. You cannot firewall a human being from humanity. The system will always find a way to update itself. So here's what 3000 years of mythology is actually trying to tell you. And yes, I'm going to be annoying and make it relevant to your life. That's literally my job. Rishyashringa was not weak. He was not stupid either. He was genuinely, powerfully, magnificently optimized. But his optimization had one fatal bug. It had been built in a vacuum. Real inner strength is not the ability to lock yourself away from the world and stay clean. Real inner strength is going into the world, the chaotic, fragrant, mango-offering, boat-sailing world, and still choosing who you are. Monk mode is a tool, not a lifestyle. The forest teaches you discipline, but eventually you have to leave the forest someday, because the whole point of building inner strength is to use it out here where the mangoes are, right? Rishyashringa's system didn't crash because he was weak. It crashed because he had never been allowed to stress test it. Don't be Rishyashringa. Do your monk mode, but also go touch some grass, preferably grass that is not on fire. That's the protocol. Alright, if you made it this far, congratulations. You just sat through the entire legend of Rishyashringa without opening Instagram even once. That is, statistically speaking, more willpower than the man himself had. You are already winning. Now, if this video gave you even 3 seconds of clarity, amusement or sudden urge to reevaluate your life choices, hit like. Not for me, for Rishyashringa, who deserved better than to be used as a rain machine by a king who could not figure out irrigation. Share this with your friend who is currently on day 3 of monk mode and already looks dead inside. They need to know this story. It is literally medicine. And subscribe, because episode 13 is coming, and let me tell you, one man gets rejected by heaven itself and still refuses to log off. We are not okay as a species, but at least we have good stories. Entropy Reversed. See you next time.